What's going on, investors? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I want to share with you guys a breaking news about the share price of Bionano Genomics, the new price target of Bionano Genomics, and also we have another breaking news out there that I would love to share with you guys as well in this video. And we are going to be taking a look at all these institutional investors, what they have been doing with the share price of Bionano Genomics. Okay, we are going to take a look at how they have been adding to their portfolio or removing from their portfolio. And also I want to show you guys two funds that have been shorting Bionano Genomics. Okay, I already made a video about this couple of months ago when these two funds filed a new 13F that they added to their position, and my prediction back then was, in my opinion, they were going to dump Bionano Genomics and short every rally we see in the company. So finally they made a new filings, and I'm going to share that with you guys as well in this video. Also, we are going to take a look at what Tom Lee, what he said about the stock market, because Tom Lee is back. Okay, he has a new prediction about the stock market, and also we are going to take a look at all those news out there about Bionano Genomics and how that has of course been affecting the share price of the company, positive and of course negatively. Now Bionano Genomics had their strategic day, okay, on the 2nd of February. I already shared about 3 videos with you guys from that strategic day, and they spoke about everything that you guys literally need to know about the fundamental of the company, how the company plans to execute on their mission over the next couple of years, where they were, where they are right now, and where they plan to go to. Okay, so first of all, we are going to be starting with this right here. Okay, this is the institutional investors page of Bionano Genomics. The first thing we're going to take a look at is this right here. Okay, institutional ownership of Bionano Genomics. And like always, you guys know that BNG has literally been consolidating from $1.5 all the way to $2 over the past let's say 3 months. Okay, now if you take a look at this, you can see that institutions are not really adding to their portfolio. It's literally more or less the same thing since let's say since July of 2021. Okay, they have been maintaining about 4.5 to 5 million shares of the company, no more no less. So like I shared with you guys, I think once we see a breakout from this range, okay, let's say they double their position from 15 million to 30 million, okay, this is going to be something very huge for the stock price of Bionano Genomics. So that is one indicator that I am presently watching. Okay, now if you go further down, you can see we have 2 new filings. I already make a breaking news about this one. I already posted a video about BlackRock. Okay, that was last month on the 30th of January when they filed their 13GA filing about they increased their position of Bionano Genomics by 24.5%. So we have a new filing from Vanguard Group Inc. They increased their position by 8.3%. okay, so they used to own about 4.8 million shares. Right now they own 16 million shares. Okay, and of course BlackRock, from 18.6 million shares they jumped to 23.2 million shares, which of course is very good. Okay, so that is one breaking news that I want to share with you guys in this video. Now if you go further down, you can see some other companies adding to their positions. Okay, and some are also removing from their position. For example, Citigroup Inc. dumped almost half of their position, and Group 1 also reduced their position by about 20%. So some, of course, maybe they own little shares of the company, they dump everything entirely. And meanwhile we also have some reducing 15%. Meanwhile we have others adding like 5%, 1%, and so on and so forth, yada yada. Now Citadel is one of the funds out there shorting Bionano Genomics. Okay, because in the black pool, I believe these guys in the dark room, I think they are doing way worse than we can see publicly. If you take a look at this, you can see that Citadel last year they made a filing that they increased their position to 3.4 million shares. Okay, this is back in 2021. Okay, this is from 2021. 2022, okay, you can see right here from 772,000 shares they jumped all the way to 2 million shares. And I think I made a video back in June, okay, telling you guys that they increased their position by 160%, but right now they have reduced that position. Look at that, they dumped 40%. So these guys are just trading Bionano Genomics. Okay, they are hedge fund. And then we have Renaissance Technology LLC reporting 61.46 decrease in ownership of Bionano Genomics. That's also another breaking news. They add to their shares and then they dump it. If you guys take a look at the price, you can see how they have been trading Bionano Genomics. So these two guys are some of the short sellers out there. Okay, last year, look at that, in August they fired 3.6 million shares, and then they dumped 61%. Look at that, just like 2-3 months after they made this filing, and I think they have already perhaps dumped the rest of this. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen. Now we have BlackRock, okay, making new filings. I already spoke about that, and that is that about that. So Bionano Genomics had their strategy day where they spoke about the Sapphire, the next generation Sapphire device. They also spoke about FDA approval. They are going to be applying for FDA, okay, in next year, and then the Sapphire device, like the CEO already shared with us, is already being used on the field, and very soon they are going to release the commercial version of the device. And of course the chief operating officer, he spoke a lot about the device, about the new consumables, and so on and so forth. So you guys can find the video on this page. Just go to my channel. Now Bionano Genomics, over the past couple of weeks, we have literally been trading around this level from 1.5 to 2 US dollars. If you take a look at this, you can see since September we have been in this range. Okay, whenever we break above, back in November 15 we broke above almost to 3 US dollars, and then we came back down. Okay, so right now the share price of Bngo it's closed on Friday at 1.56 US dollars. And my worry is that if you take a look at the volume has been decreasing, guys. Okay, the average used to be even above 10 million, and right now it is at 4.6 million shares. So the volume is something that you guys have to watch out for. I already said this is another buy signal that I am watching. If you guys see this volume getting around closer to 20 million shares, then you should know the following day is going to be a very positive one. Okay, so the volume is very small, it's getting smaller and smaller, which is not good. Okay, this is not positive. It means we have very little activities going on with the shares of Bionano Genomics. Okay, no buyers. Let's just say buyers are not really coming in as much as sellers. So market cap 463 million US dollars. Now Bionano Genomics is expected to announce their 2022 earnings, okay, and of course the fourth quarter earnings date. We still don't have any idea when they are going to be reporting their earnings, so I think that is something that we are still watching out for. Now if you take a look at Illumina, for example, Illumina reported their earnings last week, and the market didn't really like what Illumina reported. Okay, you can see Illumina is also down if you go to year to date, Illumina has barely it's even down. Okay, it started the year around 200 US dollars. Right now it is it's closed on Friday around 196 US dollars. So Illumina reported their earnings. Okay, this is their 2022 Q4 earnings, where they announced how much they made, how many Novasex 2000 they sold, for example, yada, how many instruments, and so on and so forth. Let me see if we can quickly find more information down there about their total revenue. So no information. Now Pacb, okay, we are still waiting for the likes of Pacb to also report their earnings, and let me take a look at this. So Pacb, as you guys can see, according to their 2021, okay, earnings went down, revenue is actually increasing little by little on Pacb. Okay, so let's see when they are supposed to announce their earnings. February 16, 2023. So February 16, 2023, according to this Yahoo Finance website, is when Pacb is expected to announce their 2022 earnings. So now that's that about that. Now if we go back to Bionano Genomics, let's quickly take a look at the price action of Bngo and what has been going on with this company, because I want to share with you guys. Okay, I want to see if we can quickly touch some technical analysis. You guys can see that this is the chart that I drew. Okay, and I didn't touch this chart since about 1 month now. Now if we have the price of Bngo breaking out of this trend line, you guys can see that we moved closer. We almost broke it on the 2nd of this month, but unfortunately the price has been going down since then. Okay, so let's see, perhaps we found a bottom around this level already. Let's see if we can go back and retest this resistance, and hopefully we can break to the upside finally. Okay, so this $2 is more or less like a battle zone for Bionano Genomics sellers and buyers. So that is that about, you know, the technical analysis of Bionano Genomics. If you want to learn more about the technical analysis of BNG, of course you can become a patron. It costs about $3 every month, where I share more information. Now, before we continue with the second breaking news that I want to share with you guys, so I wrote a book, okay, and this is more or less like how to milk the bull market. Okay, I started writing this file, this PDF file, literally since 2020. Okay, during that that pandemic, you know, when the market went down and so on and so forth. So in my opinion, the strategy in this book is more or less like 31 pages, can help you to milk the bull market, okay, massively. Okay, instead of you to make, let's say, 5% if we're in a bull market per year, this can help you to milk the market as much as possible, and you can literally double your money easily. We're talking about minimum of 50%, 100%. So for example, when Tesla was around this level, you can see my entry around $110. I got in, and right now the position is up massively. So this is a book that I would recommend you guys to take a look at, okay, if you want to learn more about technical analysis and how to literally double your money in a bull market. Okay, all right guys, so we have a new price target on the share price of Bngo, and that is what I want to share with you guys in this video, the real breaking news of this video. Now we have the consensus price target at $5.63, okay, and this used to be lower than this, so we have a possibility to make a return of 260.9% if we put our money in Bngo at this price, okay, like where it's closed on Friday. Now if you guys take a look at this, you can see that the low estimate is 3.5, and then we have the average price target at 5.6, and then the high estimate is presently at $9. So who is this person with a price target of $9? We have Frunkla boys, okay, from Oppenheimer. This guy has reiterated a buy on the share price of Bionano Genomics, and then he set a price target of $9, guys, 9. And so according to him, he still believes the company still has a long way to go. We're talking about, you know, the upside of the company. This came after Mark Massaro from BTIG, you know, also set a price target of $3.5. It used to be $3. He increased it, I believe, to $3.5, okay, and he maintains his buy on the share price of the company. So we have Frunkla from Oppenheimer, we have Mark Massaro from BTIG. From BTIG, we used to have Song Jin Nam, okay, but right now Mark Massaro has taken over that position of, you know, rating the share price of Bionano Genomics. These two ratings came in, you know, about 6 days ago, and you know, so this of course came after Jesse McCarthy. Also, I made a video about Jesse McCarthy also maintaining his buy rating on the share price of Bngo, and setting a price target of $6, and so that is a very wonderful news. Okay, so we have about all these analysts right here, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 analysts presently covering Bionano Genomics with a buy rating, which, you know, leads you know to $5.6 and upside, a potential upside of 260.9%, okay, if the share price of Bngo finally decides to go higher. So
joining me now, CNBC contributor Tom Lee of Fundstrat Global Advisors, right here on set with me. It's good to see you. Welcome back.
Great to see you, Scott.
That's the headline we're going to start with, 4,800 by year end. I want you to tell me how.
I think if I had to say market internals, it looks like it's baked in the cake in the sense that markets that make this much progress by day 26, 16 out of 17 have been over double-digit returns, and with an average gain of 26%. So I think that the market's revealed its hand. From a fundamental perspective, I think the narrative is inflation is becoming less of a risk to the upside, and from a Fed's perspective, that's a more predictable Fed. I think that allows volatility to come down. I think multiples expand and earnings hold up nicely, and we get investors buying stocks, buying the dip again.
Okay, so I love what the show before us did right off the top, the way they put the debate. Don't fight the Fed versus don't fight the tape. The Fed is still highly engaged, okay? You obviously are saying don't fight the tape. The signs in the market to this point at the beginning part of this year tell you that none of the other stuff matters anymore. Inflation's coming down enough. There are too many good signs in the market to go back now?
It would be unprecedented, Scott, and just in terms of internals, because we've had such a breadth expansion and the market's producing this much upsides in such a short time. It's never happened in a bear market. But when investors say don't fight the Fed, I think that they're forgetting that there's not just, Fed is not a binary mode. You know, Fed's not just cutting or they're hiking. There's also the Fed that's trying to gradually and be predictable in monetary policy. That's the Fed of the 90s. The Fed was raising rates really for almost 10 years, and the stock market had double-digit gains. So I think predictable rate increases is not the same as the Fed wanting financial conditions to tighten to lead to a recession.
What if they're still unpredictable, right? That jobs report was pretty hot. What happens if the CPI is as well? What happens if subsequent inflation reads are not as good as we think they're going to be? I feel like things are still a little uncertain to be, as Jamie Dimon would say the other day, it's too early to declare victory.
You're right. It's too early to declare victory, but there's a difference between the Fed reacting to every data point versus a Fed that wants to be predictable. It took 3 good inflation reports before the Fed even started to use the word disinflation. But from December to February, they went from 0 citations of disinflation to 13. So if the February CPI report is a little bit hot, which we don't expect, we actually think it's going to be another downside read, so that'll be 4 to 5 consecutive months. That's a predictable Fed. We had one somewhat hot jobs report. If the Fed starts raising rates there, that's a Fed that's reactive to data points, almost backwards.
Aren't they? But they're telling us to this point, aren't they, that they're going to be data dependent now? They're not on some predetermined path like some in the market had feared they were at one point. They actually suggest they're going to be data dependent.
Yeah, but there's a difference between data dependent and data reactive. I think the one thing that's going to be important is for the Fed's reaction function to make sense. I think most of us would agree a lot of the economic data that they cite, CPI and jobs reports, is backwards looking. I mean, for instance, high-frequency data showed inflation was weakening since June, but the first good inflation report wasn't until October, and then it tanked since then. The Fed hadn't even talked about progress on inflation until February of this year, another 4 months later. I think if they're going to start to talk about jobs reports as the reason to move monetary policy, it is a little backwards looking because jobs is the last thing that reacts to monetary policy.
It may be backwards, but they're clearly focused on cracking the labor market, right?
I think that is all I want to share with you guys in this video. If you guys have any question, of course, let me know in the comment section. I will be your boy Dayo. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Frunkla. Remember to smash the like button before you leave. Ciao, ciao.